Okay, well, welcome, welcome. I am Curmudgeon. This is a place in Skyrim called the Jagged Coast. We are looking for a thing called the Bleak Coast Cave. We have been sent here by Ayala on a quest called Animal Extermination. Oh, don't turn it off. There we go. Uh, this is a special circumstance. Things have gotten a bit out of hand. Actually, things have gotten more than a bit out of hand. Sia commandeered me after the last episode. And we went off to Broncos in Inman. And had Mexican food. And it's actually Mexican food. The whole history of the situation is that here in the upstate of South Carolina, there are peach orchards. In fact, the truth of the matter is that there are more peaches raised in the upstate of South Carolina, in a very small region of the upstate of South Carolina, than the entire state of Georgia. Let me state that again just so I'm clear. There are more peaches raised in the upstate of South Carolina than the entire state of Georgia. Georgia just has a good publicity campaign going. They don't have the truth going for them. It's just the way of the world. But the truth is that the peaches again, more peaches are grown in the upstate of South Carolina than in the entire state of Georgia. Now, what that means is that migrant labor has flowed into the upstate of South Carolina over the decades, over and over and over. Now, that migrant labor was Mexican. Now, over the decades, some of that migrant labor has taken the advantage of staying here, and they've opened restaurants. As a result, the upstate of South Carolina, for years, unbeknownst to the rest of the country, has had legitimate and real Mexican cuisine. And it's actually had something going on here which has been kind of funny with those of us who've known what's happened. Because the chain Mexican restaurants have showed up here. The ones such as Chi-Chi's, for example. They've showed up here. And they've folded. And I can only imagine that corporate Chi-Chi's has said that, oh my Lord, those hicks in South Carolina. They're not even willing to try something new. They're not even willing to try Mexican food. When in reality, what's going on is us hicks here in South Carolina have had Mama's Mexican restaurant down the street and have had real Mexican restaurant, Mexican food, fixed, prepared by actual, real, live Mexicans for years. And so when the fake Mexican restaurant showed up, who not only had what was actually a sort of a Tex-Mex Mexican, and was very expensive, frankly. of course, it took off at first. Any new restaurant almost inevitably does well at first. But the thing that keeps a restaurant going is repeat business, and the repeat business that went to Mama's restaurant down the block, which was in an old house that had been there for some time. Well, let's go back to Ayala. We got enemies nearby. Wonder what they are. Probably some. One of the problems with being close to the water is you wind up with slaughterfish, which prevent you from fast travel, even though they're not really a problem, but they prevent you from fast traveling. All right, let's get up and away from the water. Let's see how far we have to get away from the water. Right, let's do this. All right, there, and there, yes. At any rate, not sure how well I've told my story. The point is that we had chain Mexican restaurants that showed up in South Carolina and folded. I'm sure that the corporate honchos said that the Hicks in South Carolina were so country that they just couldn't take the Mexican stuff.
You're someone who can
When
get
in fact,
things done. Good to hear.
they were already
Have your share of
enjoying
pay.
real country, real Mexican restaurant. Okay, now let's see. What's my circuit is Vilcas, Farkas, Ayala. So next is Vilcas. There's one of them over there. Let's see which one that is. This one is Farkas.
You've been a good friend to me. That means something.
If that's Farkas, then the one down here would be Vilcas.
Something has shifted.
Now, like I said,
Something has shifted.
I hope I told that story well enough to make it make sense. Vilcas.
May the gods watch over your battles, friend.
Vilcas, I'm looking for work, son.
Just in time. I was worried I'd have to do this myself. Some rich folk had a trinket stolen and they want us to get it back.
Well, I'll go get it for you.
I tell you, this province is losing its grip. The bandits become more brazen every day.
I'll get it back.
Move quickly, so we can have this over and done with.
Family heirloom.
I wouldn't have expected someone like you to be the harbinger. But Godlike trusted your judgment, and so will I.
Okay, so where are we going? Trevor's Watch. Okay. Well, let's my cigar just went out. That's what happens when you talk too much. Well, we've been to Traveller's Watch once already, so we know the routine. Now, what about we do this differently? Can go about this differently, you know. How about we do this differently this time? What time is it? 4:55 p.m. Let's do this differently. Let's come down here. All right, so 5 o'clock in the morning, 6, 7, 8. All right, where's our match? Here we go, here's our match. All right, there's our match. Let's get this going again. All right, what time is it? It's, okay. All right, now what we're going to do, all right, there we go. All right, it's a Perotti cigar made by the Perotti Company. It's the ones that they call Avante. They're flavored with anisette. The anisette has a
What was that? I'll show you a real fight.
Well, okay. One of the interesting things I've learned about myself versus other people that do this sort of thing is, for whatever reason, when other people get attacked, they seem to get loud. They get talk, or have a lot to say. When I get attacked, I get quiet. I get I don't know, I guess you could say I get focused. I don't really have anything to say in the middle of an attack. I'm busy paying attention to what I'm trying to do, which I suppose is not interesting, but I really can't help that. Not much I can do about that. I suppose I could try to change my ways, but I don't think I can. At any rate, back to the anisette thing. Back in Marine Corps days, sort of semi-long story. One of the, when I was first in the Marine Corps, one of my first mentors, you might say, that was a long draft of beer. Whew, okay. All right, so how do we get down? Oh, well, that goes down. There was a guy named Wirtz. He was I suppose at the time, I think he was a gunnery sergeant. I'd make him an E8. I think he was a gunnery sergeant. Ah, there we go. I'm going to do this place backwards. What's that? Ah, it's a plant. Running a place backwards is sometimes great fun. Anyway, Wirtz was a pretty senior guy in our outfit when I first checked in to my first duty station. And he pretty much took me under his wing, and helped me along a great deal. Now, this was in 60, 67. Yeah, 67.
Gonna try now, huh? You won't get the best of me.
Wow. What a tricky one. Yeah, this was in 67. Now, after a lot transpired, after I well, to make a long story short, I went to Vietnam. I wound up back in the same duty station for a totally different reason. I was actually in recruiter school. I ran across Wirtz. He was still there, although he probably had gone away and come back. But he was still there. And okay, so we'll go down the hall after this.